One of the best things about watching a mystery movie, of course, is following along and trying to figure out what's going on along with the cast. And since I've been really into the Traitors recently, I've really been on this big mystery, whodunit, paranoia movie type of kick. So today I thought it might be fun to share some similar movies and TV shows that are sorta in this subgenre along with you guys in case you were interested too. I know a lot of you guys are really into the Traitors, and a lot of the things on this list is in that sort of similar vein. I'm going to be talking about both movies and TV shows here, all of them having a sort of mystery component that makes it a lot of fun for us, the audience, to follow along with too. And I also tried to make this list pretty multi-genre so that there's something here for everybody. Now, let's get started. So I'm going to kick things off by talking about TV shows, and the first one on my list is The Hustler. This is a murder mystery show hosted by Craig Ferguson, where 5 contestants must work together to answer trivia questions and add to their prize pot. The trick is, there's a secret hustler among the group who knows the answers and is all in it for themselves. The best part about the show is, the hustler isn't revealed to the audience either, so it's just as much fun for us to play along. This is also more of an anthology style show, so you can pretty much watch any episode in any order you want. It is just so much fun to watch alone or with a group of friends because it is so much fun to play along with the TV and try to guess who the mole actually is on the show. If you are someone who really loves reading people, if you think you're really good at spotting out liars, then this is the show for you. There are currently 2 seasons available to binge, although unfortunately it has since been canceled, which really sucks. I would love to see the show come back and even get a reboot, especially, hear me out, a celebrity version. I think a celebrity version would be so awesome. That would be the perfect way to kind of revitalize this show. Or they could even do something similar to what the Traitors is doing, where they have ex-reality stars come back on for this show. I don't think there's any plans to bring it back right now, but there is a lot of potential there, so hopefully one day. The next show on this list, which is sort of in the same vein as The Hustler, is To Tell the Truth. This is a very unserious show hosted by Anthony Anderson, where a panel of celebrities must identify which contestant is the imposter. The panelists take turns questioning the contestants as they try to suss out which 2 are lying. This is another fun reality show that is perfect for easy binging, super easy and quick to throw on by yourself or with a group of friends. Again, this is another show where we have imposters or moles playing along, but us, the audience, does not know who that is, so it's fun for us to play along with the contestants themselves. This is by far the most lighthearted thing on this list. It is very unserious. There's not even a real prize or anything to be won at the end. So it's all fun and games. Nothing ever even gets too heated or too competitive. But again, if you are someone who thinks they're good at sussing out liars and trying to catch people and catch them in their fibs, then this could be the show for you. Continuing on with the same theme, next up we have The Mole, and I'll put both the original version and the Netflix revival on this list. This is a competition show where contestants work together to add money to their prize pot. But the twist is, there is a mole amongst them sabotaging their every move, and they must suss out who that is in order to win. I'm sure most of you, if you are somewhat into the reality TV world, have at least heard of this show before, because when it got picked back up by Netflix, that was huge news. I know people really loved the original back in the day, and I'm admittedly only really more familiar with the Netflix versions, but I did hear that the originals hold up pretty well all the same. Just like the other things on this list, this one is also a lot of fun for us to play along to, because as an audience, we also don't know who the mole is. So as we dive deeper into the show and as the episodes get deeper, it gets so intense trying to figure out which person is the one who's messing everything up. During the last Netflix season, I literally had a notebook out. I was writing notes after every single episode, trying to figure out who it was, and by the finale, y'all, I still could not figure it out. They still threw me for a loop. So if you're someone who's ready to dive deep into a mystery, then this could be the show for you. So those were all the TV series I had for this list. Now let's switch over to the movies. Now this next one is a pretty big departure from everything else we've had so far, but it is The Thing. This is a 1982 body horror film about a small group of scientists working in Antarctica who discover that something has infiltrated their camp to start picking them off one by one. The group is eventually consumed by paranoia when they find out that this thing is able to assimilate and imitate each of them, meaning that they can no longer trust each other, as any of them could be the thing. I recently just watched this movie for the first time, and I am totally kicking myself that I didn't see it sooner. I was immediately obsessed. As soon as the film finished, I was on YouTube and Reddit going through all these deep dives and trying to figure out the lore. This is a horror movie, so obviously it's not going to be for everybody, especially if you're grossed out by more body horror stuff. So fair warning, because there is plenty of blood and guts and all sorts of other gross stuff all throughout this movie. But I put it on this list because, again, it's another one of those things where the audience can watch along to try to figure out who the thing really is. And this is the type of movie where the director also put little Easter eggs and hints for the audience to get throughout. So if you're really, really crafty, then you could be able to spot some of those too. So for all my horror fans out there who do love a bit of a mystery too, then this could be the perfect movie for you. Next up in the movie category, we have Knives Out. When a wealthy author suddenly dies under mysterious circumstances, a detective is hired to investigate the family. Sifting through a web of lies and red herrings, the detective must uncover the truth along with the audience. If you have not seen or at least heard of Knives Out yet, seriously, where have you been? This is a classic whodunit mystery movie. I went to go see this in theaters back when it came out, and I had a blast throughout the entire viewing. The cast is so much fun, the performances are great, the characters are insane. It is a very fun, very unserious popcorn flick to throw on if you need a laugh or a pick-me-up. Of course, this is a mystery, so you as the audience do get to kind of follow along with the characters to try to figure out who the killer is. Now, I will say, by the time they do get to the big reveal at the end, it's not necessarily the most mind-blowing twist ever in cinema, right? But everything leading up to that reveal is such a wild ride, and no matter how good you think you are, it is almost impossible to literally predict exactly what ends up happening. And there is also a sequel to this movie, Knives Out 2, that has come out that's also the same type of murder mystery thriller. So if you like the first one, then hey, there's a second one to watch right after. And my final recommendation for this list is gonna be Game Night. This is a 2018 comedy about a group of friends whose innocent game night turns into a real-life mystery out of one of them is literally kidnapped. The friends soon find themselves in over their heads as each twist leads to another unexpected turn over the course of one chaotic night. So I'm not usually into comedies or cheesy movies in general, and trust me, this movie has a lot of cheesy moments.
I'm catching, I'm holding, I'm smiling, she's living, she's golden, she's this for me. Sing it to the mic.
Jesus. But overall, I would say that this movie is genuinely funny. Like, I actually literally laughed out loud more than a few times watching this. Cringy parts aside, this is a fun, non-traditional mystery movie with a lot of weird twists and turns all the way out until the very end. Now, the one point I will kind of take away from this movie is that the audience can't really follow along as much as they can with the other ones on this list. But even though that's the case, I still think it's worth the watch, especially if you want something light and easy to throw on during friends night or date night or whatever, what have you. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you found something new or interesting here on this list that you'd want to check out. If so, let me know in the comments below. I've just been on such a huge movie kick since it's been so cold out and I've been inside lately. So I've been going through and recommending movies and television shows for people to watch because why not? So thank you all so much for sticking through to the end, and I cannot wait to talk to you next time. But until then, bye.